This is Dan of Vagabond Awake.
𝗔𝗕𝗢𝗡𝗄
And today we're coming to you from Padassi, Panama. We're on a little island here called Iguana Island.
Yes.
You can see the beautiful beach behind us. We're enjoying. We were whale watching today. But we're winding up our tour of Panama. Padassi's our last stop. So we came to Panama from the Dominican Republic.
Yes.
And we flew into Panama City. And we spent a few months in Panama City.
Yeah.
And then we went to Boca del Toro.
Yes.
And from there we went to David, Panama.
Yes.
And from there we went to Boquete, Panama.
Yes. And then from Boquete we go to Coronado, and then 𝗪𝗏𝗃.
𝗪𝗏𝗃, right?
And then back to Panama City.
Right.
And then go to San Blas.
San Blas, yes.
And then go to Panama Canal.
Yeah.
And then we are coming here to Padassi.
Yes.
Yes.
And we're just winding up. It's almost 3 months in Panama, right?
Actually, we arrived here is on 28th of May.
Wow.
Yes.
Well, today's September 30th.
Yes, September 30th.
Yeah, so we spent quite a bit of time in Panama, and we have some favorites. But there's something about every city we like here, and we can see why a lot of people are moving here, but that doesn't mean we don't have our favorites. So
yeah, at first I was thinking Panama is so expensive and why they are coming here, but until I see Boquete, I'm like, wow, now I know why.
so Boquete is your number one.
Boquete is my number one.
Yeah. Why was it your number one? What was it about it you loved?
The first is the weather,
right?
So you don't need to have AC.
No AC.
And then the second is because it's on the mountains, the vegetable is grown on the mountain. It's fresh and it's cheaper.
And a lot of it's organic.
And lots of organic. Even the mushroom is cheaper in the Boquete. So compared with the islands and the city, the vegetable is very expensive over there.
Very inexpensive.
Very expensive in the city.
Oh, in other parts of Panama,
yeah,
it's more expensive than Boquete.
Yes.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And it's also fresher because it's not being trucked all over the place. It's grown locally.
Yes.
Yeah, those are great reasons. I also love the hiking there.
Oh, love the hike.
And for a town of that size, I was surprised how many different kinds of restaurants from around the world there were.
Oh yeah, they have a lot of
restaurant choices.
Very nice restaurant choices.
Yeah, and the hiking. Did I mention hiking?
Yes.
Gosh, that was amazing hiking. So those, I would say, winded up everything there. And also, it's almost a city center. A lot of the expats live around the city, up in the mountains, and many have large budgets, and they live in bigger, beautiful homes. But in the city, there's in and around the city, there's smaller homes and apartments that are a little more affordable.
And I like the Boquete as well is the location. From Boquete, you can go to Boca del Toro, you can go down to David. It's very center, you know.
Yeah, and you mentioned David. The nice thing, the reason you would go to David is for shopping, because Boquete is a little town, 15,000 people maybe. But David's a larger town. It has large shopping malls. It has hospital's. And it was maybe 30, 40, 50 minutes from Boquete, would you say?
With the collectible or the bus, that's $1.75, 1 hour, boom, you arrive.
You're in David.
Very easy. The roads, no wiring, no curving.
Yeah. There are curvy roads in Panama, but not that road, which is nice.
Yeah.
So what would you say, what would be your second favorite city in Panama?
Boca del Toro.
Yeah.
I love that.
It's a beautiful place.
It's a hippie place. I like the vibe, the atmospheres over there is more laid back, chill, you know?
Yeah.
It's not like it's very chill over there. I love it.
And it's not in the mountains, it's at sea level, and it's on the Caribbean side, so it has white sand beaches, and it has all these little water taxis that take you.
And the happy hour.
And happy hours, yeah.
A lot of happy hour over there. $1 beer a night.
Yeah, we didn't see many happy hours in Boquete, did we?
No, Boquete don't have happy hour that much. Yeah.
And so Boca del Toro, I would say, is filled. It's island life, really. I mean, you have the white sand beaches, the palm trees.
Yes.
And because it's island line, the food's more expensive. In Boca del Toro?
The food is not really expensive. Compared with Panama City, the food cheaper. Plus, they have a lot of choices of the food. $5, you have a local food. very, very delicious in the Tom. It's a Tom restaurant.
Right.
Or you eat actually you eat on the street food. I bought like the chicken with the 2 bread. It's $3.50, which is great.
Right, right.
Delicious also.
Yeah. Good point. And that was also true of 𝗏𝗏𝗘. We didn't mention it, but they have local restaurants there. That place, I can't remember the name of them.
I can't remember.
But there's like 3 or 4 local restaurants that we ate at a couple times in town.
Yes.
That were serving local Panamanian dishes.
Yes, very delicious.
Breakfast for around $3 and lunch for around $5.
Yes.
And it often included a drink, and it was a full hearty meal. So.
Oh, so
delicious.
Good food.
Yeah. So, and then of course, again in 𝗏𝗏𝗘 they have all the expat restaurants that are $10, $15 an entree, and so if you're trying to maintain a budget, you're going to want to steer away from those. But don't you think in Boca del Toro that the grocery store food was much more expensive than?
That's why I'm saying that the groceries are because the vegetable is more expensive on the islands or on the city. That's why 𝗏𝗏𝗘 have fresh vegetable, that is why I love. I need fresh leaf and everything.
Right. In fact, we found that the grocery store food was so high, we preferred to just eat in the local restaurants mostly.
Yes.
Not the expat restaurants, but the local ones.
Yeah.
But we did cook a little bit at home, and if we lived there, we would probably have to cook some more in order to maintain our budget. But
if we're living over there, we know where to get the cheaper and the fresh vegetable. We know which day the vegetable will be arrived from the boat. So it's a different topic.
Different topic. Yeah. So that's number 2 for you.
That's number 2 for me.
For me, I would probably my number 2 would be Panama City.
Oh.
I thought that was the area that we were in. I thought was really nice.
The Argentina Street.
Oh, yes. We didn't actually stay in that area, but that was a really fun area.
That's all the bar and the restaurants.
Yeah. So I was referring to the Centennial Mall area where we were. So you had a couple of grocery stores there, some restaurants, very safe, walkable neighborhood we lived in, or Chung lived in alone when I was in the U.S. for a month or so.
Yeah.
I would say that's probably my second favorite, just because, well, it depends if you're single or if you're in a relationship. Panama City is a city, and it's an international city. You've seen the high rises. It's a striking, beautiful city, and it has that area that you were talking about a minute ago, via Argentina.
Yeah.
Wow, what a great area! There's bars, restaurants, coffee shops,
and so
you can walk around everywhere.
Having a beer over there to sit on the the corridor. There's what's called
sidewalk.
Outside walk.
Like sidewalk cafes.
And just sit down and drinking the beer is so chill. It reminds me of my home. That we just sit outside on the bar.
Yeah.
You're not worried about anything and
then you had that the Casa Viejo, I think it's called, the oldest part of town, where you have all the old buildings and the colonial era buildings, and very beautiful area that's being gentrified, I would say, being built up.
Panama City is my third favorite.
It's third favorite for you?
It's my third favorite because they have a lot of the Chinese restaurants. I love the Chinese grocery. Is on the first place that we stay in Panama City, the Centennial Mall, because the choice is cheaper over there. Right. And they have 3 Chinese grocery store. You can buy whatever food you want to cook. Not even Chinese. They have Japanese, Koreans, and Thai. Yeah. Thai food. Whoa.
Yeah. So I would probably, if you're single, Panama City would be second, in my opinion. Boca del Toro would be third. But if you're in a relationship, Boca del Toro easily makes second. I would agree with him on that. And then, so what would be fourth for you? Which city would be fourth?
No, I will not think. Yeah, like Coronado is more like a golf club, and it's just small, quiet place. Yeah. I still prefer the choices that I have. So you have 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8.
I think maybe rather than go on about our order, maybe talk about some of the other places and who we think would be attracted to those places.
Oh, okay.
So you've already mentioned Coronado is for golfers, and I would agree with that 100%. There's a beautiful golf course there, and you can join the club, and it's fairly reasonable. And I'll have another video out in a week or two about a gentleman and his wife that live there. In fact, we stayed at their Airbnb, and it'll have video of the club and all that. So I won't say much more about it, but I agree with Chung. It's for golfers. And then let's talk about maybe David. David, like who would want to live in David, do you think?
People who have money.
People have money? You thought it was expensive? Or?
Yeah, because that's David, you need to pay for AC.
Oh, okay.
That's why people who have money.
Okay. Yeah, so David's warm. I would say, yeah, you're definitely going to want some AC in David.
Yeah,
but
very hot here.
I think what maybe what's amazing or what we thought was unusual when we first got to David was how it was an equestrian place. There were horses everywhere.
Yes.
And it was very green. It seemed like a sort of a small town atmosphere, and it had a central park area. There's a central park area there where there's a lot of locals that are enjoying local restaurants and local lifestyle. So the thing about David is it felt like you were in Panama, I think. And so if you're not so hot on having a bunch of expats around you and you like horses or rolling hills type of areas and more space around you, a lot of neighborhoods with like normal single family homes around David, and you want to be closer to hospitals, and you don't mind paying for a little air conditioning, but you want to be near malls, and you're probably going to want a car there, would you say?
You need a car, transportation or motorbike.
Right, so that's probably who's going to be interested in David.
Yeah.
And so what about 𝗪𝗲? Who do you think is going to be interested in 𝗪𝗲?
It's a very small, quaint town. People who love like a quaint little town, and people no one disturb them. Then 𝗪𝗲, their place is also same like 𝗪𝗲𝗀.
Let's stick with 𝗪𝗲 for a second.
Okay.
So 𝗪𝗲, small town. It has the same thing, a central park.
Very, very small. This town, very
small. Yeah, it has the central park with the church on it, and you'll see some locals there walking their dogs and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
A couple grocery stores. We've also seen a few horses around this area, but this is an area I think more international types are going to be attracted to for whatever reason.
𝗪𝗲 is a small community place, and 𝗪𝗲 is one of the most safer city in Panama, which is based on the internet, what they say.
Right.
And you can see why, because when we leave our place in the 𝗪𝗲, you walk around, everyone say hi. They are very friendly, so their community is very tight to each other, so they will take care of each other.
Yeah, it's a very safe community, and for a town so small, there seems to be quite a few restaurants. There's 3, but there's a surprising number of international people here.
Yes.
Some of them even wealthy, so it is a beautiful place. People do love to retire here from around the world. And of course, we're in 𝗪𝗲 now. You can see this beautiful beach behind us. So it does have a lot to be desired, but it just feels a little small for me.
Yeah, it's very small, and it's people compare 𝗪𝗲 and Coronado, you know.
Yes.
You can see the difference. Yes. And people also compare Boquete and 𝐿 Valley. We've been to 𝐿 Valley, and 𝐿 Valley is very beautiful, but very quiet, no nightlife. So no happy hour.
Yeah, very small town. Very beautiful town, amazing hiking up in the mountains, beautiful. Yes. If you don't need or want as many expats around you, it's going to be an alternative to Boquete. But it just doesn't have as many restaurants. There's no nightlife there, but just the greenery, the hikes is almost as beautiful as Boquete.
If you like quiet play, greens, then
and more localized restaurants and markets and that kind of thing.
Yeah, 𝐿 Valley is your choice.
It's going to be your choice.
Yes.
So, all right. So, I would say we both agree Boquete would be our first choice, but I would say I might get bored there after 3 to 6 months. So it might be a good base.
That is why I choose Boquete, because from Boquete you can go to the Boca del Toro in 3-4 hours, and then you can go to David, and you can go to the place. It's called Boca Chica. It have an island like this, so you can go to the white sand beach as well. For 1 hour driving car to over there, take a boat to the island. They have 3 islands over there.
Yeah.
Also, you can go there for whale watching.
Right, and you can, like we said, David's nearby for shopping and hospitals and all that. So.
Yes.
But the other 6 or 9 months of the year, I probably would want to explore other parts of Central America or South America.
That's true.
Or the world's your oyster. So, and we're going to head north into Costa Rica next, and before we go into Costa Rica, we're wondering if any of you have any suggestions of cities in Costa Rica would be good for a budget, say, of $1,000 to $1,500 a month. We've been finding online that Costa Rica's become quite expensive. And so if you have ideas of towns and places around Costa Rica that are a little more locally priced and not so internationally priced. Well, thanks for watching this video.
I hope you enjoyed this video.
If you did, please like, comment,
and
or
subscribe. And waiting for our cost of living on all these places that we talk in Panama.
Yeah, I'll be doing retired cheap reports about all these cities. It'll have more detail in them.
So,
Stay
see you
tuned.
next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Hey, if you liked our video, please like, comment, or subscribe. Any of that would help our business. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much.
Click the link in the notes below this video to get a copy of this content. Plus, grab a free copy of my ebook, How I Fired My Boss and Traveled the World for 13 Years. While you're there, check out our catalog of retired cheap reports all over the world and our hobby income course that we just released. Thanks so much.